Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. Welcome back to Chatting with History. Our next guest is somebody way back in history from the 1840s. She's an immigrant from Ireland who came all the way to America, and she wants to share some of her adventures. Let's please welcome my friend, Mary. So I understand you live in Ireland, Mary, then sailed to America. Were there tough times in Ireland?
Yes, there were tough times. In Ireland, people barely had any money. All the stores were running out of business. There were barely any food markets. People wanted a better life.
So tell me, Mary, what is one thing you'll remember for the rest of your life?
When I actually got to America, I had a lot of friends who died on board. I was really, really scared. The whole time I thought I would die. So to me, it was a miracle.
Mary, you have heard and seen a lot about kids getting hurt in these mills that you worked in. Were you nervous at any time or at home?
Yes, I was nervous. There was no air conditioning. It was like a pool with all the sweat. Every day I would pray for the kids in the mills getting out. You see, cholera was spreading around.
Cholera, I heard of that.
Right this very instant, I'm praying that I won't get it.
Oh, I hope so too. I hope it'll give it to me. Mary, I know you work very hard in these mills, but I'm sure you have a lot of fun on your fun side. What do you do for fun, and what are some things that helped you here in America?
I love to write my diary. I just adore it. It makes me feel safe. There were parts of me that helped me in America. First, I had to be brave. In the mills, I got teased a lot because I was an Irish girl and the others were Yankee girls, but I kept going. I was also caring too. I had to leave my family so I could give them money. That's how much I cared about them. I was also caring when I invited my only friend, Annie, over for dinner. I was really lucky to have her as a friend.
Wow, Mary, that's amazing. Mary, what do you see in the future for Irish people?
I see that lots of Irish people are going to sail across the seas to America, but if people get sick, other people have medicine. You see, in the 1840s, in Ireland, there was barely any medicine, so, a lot of people died.
Wow. Mary, you are such a great person. It's been a pleasure having you with us today. Thanks for coming. Everybody, let's hear from my friend Mary Driscoll.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being a great audience. And Mr. Paradise, thank you for having me. I hope I can come on again. And I have to get back to work at the mills.
Well, good luck working. Hey, when we come back from Chatting with History, more people from history! Welcome back to Chatting with History! Today's show, we have somebody so spectacular. In the world of sports, and especially baseball, this person is really well known. He was well known for breaking the color barrier in baseball. This person was the first African American to play in Major League Baseball. I'd like you to please welcome Jackie Robinson.
Hello everyone, thank you for having me.
So Jackie, I understand that you played baseball in the 1940s?
Yeah.
And this was a time where blacks and whites were segregated. What was it like having to deal with so much racism?
Well, it was hard for African Americans at that time. We were called Negroes and weren't treated fairly because of the color of our skin. There was a lot of violence and hatred. It was a very hard time.
I bet. Mr. Robinson, what was the most challenging part of playing baseball in your time period?
The most challenging part of playing baseball in that time period would have to be all the insults coming from the fans and even the teammates. I just wanted to play the game I loved and couldn't because I could get kicked off the team, because I could get kicked off the league.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible. Jeez, that's so sad. Mr. Robinson, what was one of your fondest memories playing for the Brooklyn Dodgers?
That's your easiest question. It would have to be playing in the 1955 World Series.
Of course.
This was a turning point for me in the whole world. While on that field, it wasn't Jackie, the Negro baseball player. It was Jackie Robinson, the Brooklyn Dodger who loved the game of baseball.
Yeah, you suddenly became an athlete. It wasn't just the color of your skin anymore. Yeah, I remember that, but I wasn't born. I do remember. One more question. I'm sorry, Mr. Robinson, what do you do for fun?
Well, besides throwing a ball back and forth in my house, I like to go to the movies, play catch, and spend time with my family.
Oh, wow. I have one more question, Mr. Robinson. Do you mind if I ask?
No.
Okay. If it weren't for the sport of baseball and your love of the game, where do you think you'd be today?
Now that's a hardball. If it weren't for the game of baseball, I think I'd be struggling to feed and support my family. For African Americans, jobs are limited based on color. Education is difficult, so I consider myself truly blessed.
Yeah, I bet. Mr. Robinson, I gotta say, you are an inspiration to everyone. Not only are you a great baseball legend, but you're a really great human being. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank Mr. Robinson for coming today. When we come back, more interviews. We're back. Our next guest is someone who survived the bombings of Pearl Harbor, the beginnings of World War II. You're not going to believe this next guest. I want to welcome to the stage, for the first time, Mr. Adam Pelco. Welcome to my show, Adam.
Hello, thank you.
So I understand you lived through World War II. What was it like going through that time?
It was challenging living in a time with so much war because stores went out of business and there was less food and water, so we had to match. There was also people gone because they were sent to war.
Oh.
There were 12-year-olds sent to war.
What? That's amazing. I can't believe that. 12-year-olds?
Yep.
Wow. So tell me, Adam, what were you thinking when Pearl Harbor was bombed?
Well, at first I thought it was a drill until the bombs came down. Me and my best friend, Davey Morris, jumped into the water. We stayed in there until the helicopters left. My dad's ship was nearby and sunk. My father died.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry to hear that. That must have been incredibly scary, Adam. Adam, you lived through World War II. What was it like in such scary times?
As hard as it was, I had to just try to ignore the war that was going on around me and try to live a normal life.
Adam, I know you are very serious and very brave, but I bet you have a fun side. What do you like to do for fun?
I enjoy playing kickball with the people at my school.
Oh, cool. What do you see for the future of World War II?
I see a bright future when all the countries involved in World War II can reach an agreement.
Yeah, I hope that happens in the future. By the way, it does. So you survived Pearl Harbor, and we think you're really amazing, don't we, everybody?
Yeah!
Let's hear it for Adam Pelco. Welcome back to Chatting with History. Our next guest is an amazing survivor, someone who overcame really hard difficulties in her lifetime. This person is 12 years old, and she lives with blindness. And she's from long ago, and she's going to tell you a little bit about her life. I'd like you to welcome Bess Brennan.
Thank you so much. No problem, Bess.
Hi, Bess.
Hi, Mr. Paradise. Thank you for having me here.
No problem. So I understand you live in the year 1932. What was it like living in a different way than when you were younger?
It was hard at first, but I learned how to do everything I did before with the help of my blind school I went to.
A blind school, huh, Bess? So tell me, what was the scariest part of your life?
Well, I guess it would be when I had my operations after the accident that made me blind.
An accident? Wow. Do you want to tell me about it?
Sure. Well, one day I was sledding with my sister on a very snowy day, and this mean boy that was older than me crashed into our sled, and I fell into a tree.
Oh my gosh, that's really scary. So, how did you stay so brave during the time you became blind?
Well, if it wasn't for my twin sister Ellen, I probably wouldn't have been so brave.
She must be a really special sister. Yeah, I bet. So being blind, Bess, what can you do for fun?
Well, I usually did gymnastics or hung out with my friend Helen Keller, who is a graduate at Perkins School at about the same time as me.
Helen Keller? Group, don't we know Helen Keller?
Yeah!
She was a friend of Bess. How about a little bit of that for Bess?
Woo!
I want to thank you for coming today, Bess. I really appreciate it. I hope to see you soon, and make sure you say hello to Helen for us. We think she's an amazing person, too. Let's hear it for Bess. Welcome back to Chatting with History, our show where we're interviewing people from the past. Our next guest is someone who survived. In 1930s, there was an enormous drought, a long period of time without water. And our next guest was somebody that survived during this time. And there's a name for this special drought that she's going to tell us about. I'd like to welcome to our stage Grace Edwards. Come on over, Grace. So I understand you lived in the 1930s, Grace. What was it like living with so much dust?
It was very rough times because when we cooked food, we always had dust in the pan, so we normally had dust bread.
Dust bread? Oh, that sounds terrible. So during this storm, what was the scariest part about it?
I got scared during these times because many people died from dust pneumonia, and basically my friend Hannah died from dust pneumonia.
Dust pneumonia? What's dust pneumonia?
It's a disease where dust gets clogged in your lungs and you can't breathe.
Oh my God, it sounds horrible.
It is.
And your sister died from it?
No, not my sister.
Who
My
was
sister's friend.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's still scary, right?
Yeah.
So the one thing that my audience wants to know, what is the name for this storm, this drought that happened in the 1930s?
It's called the Dust Bowl.
Okay, and what is it, the Dust Bowl?
It's a huge storm, and we haven't had water for about 10 years. So all the plants and soil, it gets all into dust. Then the winds start blowing dust everywhere.
Oh my gosh. Can you imagine, audience, 10 years with no rain?
What?
Yeah, unbelievable.
Really?
Yeah. What is the most exciting thing that happened during the storm for you?
I got excited when there was a dramatic competition in school. So I entered it with my friends Mary, Helen, and Betsy. But if Helen hadn't moved away to California, we would have won.
Oh no. She moved to California. I heard a lot of people moved to California during that time. What will you remember most about the storm? Or what will you remember during the storm?
I will remember that my mom, my dad, and Ruth, my sister, we were all in the cellar with nothing to eat except bread.
Wow. Amazing. Grace, I heard that you had to wear dust masks. How did that feel?
It felt weird because it felt like a huge tornado was going to come at you.
Yeah, I imagine so, with these big storms of dust.
Yeah.
Just got everywhere, huh? Grace, since you're always at school, what do you like to do for fun?
I sew for fun and play hopscotch with my sister Ruth. I also work in the hospitals on weekends.
Wow, that is amazing that you do that kind of work. Do you think that this storm will end badly for you and your family?
I think it will end as a disaster because many people died from dust in their lungs and it was clogging it with all its might, so that they died.
Wow. I hope it does end soon, and I have news for you. In the future, it does finally end, and you do get rain finally. So you just got to hang in there for a little bit longer. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Grace Edwards. When we come back, more interviews with more great historical figures.
Woo!